guys with the comments right away. So much to get into, Trip. Baseball playoffs right around the corner, starting in a couple days. We got football, obviously, week 4, and then we had a mega fight yesterday. And NBA, of course. Like, how could we forget?
Reverse type 2 diabetes in record time.
What
Yes,
you
Put
sir.
what do you
Sorry
got
about,
going on here, Trip?
sorry about that. So I was doing a little homework. My bad, guys. Sorry. Y'all know how I do, guys. It wouldn't be right. But yeah, man, we got a whole lot going on this past week and some stuff that's coming up. Plus, we got two very special guests, two undefeated professional boxers that's gonna be joining us from Brooklyn. They might wind up being the new first family of boxing because since it's three of them, it's two brothers plus the sister. I don't think it's ever been two brothers plus the sister combination in the sport of boxing. We just had the Charlo brothers, but one of them went down, so there's room for a new family in the sport of boxing. But
Absolutely.
we're gonna get to that in a minute, though. We're gonna start with the NBA. Big trade went down. It finally happened. Y'all have been asking about it. We've been doing our homework, talking to our NBA insider friends, trying to see what the scoop was. Shout out to my main man Scoop B. But Dame is finally out of Portland. He did not make it to South Beach, where I like to spend a lot of my spare time at. But he will be in Milwaukee playing with who I believe is the best player in basketball right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, Drew Holiday was part of that deal, though, so he actually got shipped out to Portland and then shipped out again in the move that we're going to talk about in a minute. But Eric, talk to me about this trade and what it now means for the shape of the Eastern Conference.
So overall, I like the trade. Dame to Milwaukee. Milwaukee had to shake up that roster. We talked about it after they got bumped in the playoffs that they couldn't really run it back with the same squad. It kind of got stale. That's what cost Coach Bud his job. So on the surface, I like it. It does bring a new element to Milwaukee because I think late game situations they need a shot creator. They need somebody else who can get them offense without having to just run it purely through Giannis. And because Giannis struggles from the free throw line sometimes, that can be to their detriment. So now having Dame, Middleton is I think really he's going to be the third wheel here, but he's overqualified to be the third wheel. So it's really a really good big three. My main concern with them, and Javon, I see that you've commented and you mentioned it as well, is I'm not going to jump the gun and say they're the favorites to come out of the East just yet because I think the bigger issue for Milwaukee now is defensively. When they lost in 5 games to Miami in the playoffs, their issues were defense. They blew 3 double-digit leads in that series. That's something that you cannot have if you are a championship team. Dame and Giannis, without a doubt, make you a top 2 team in the East, top 3 at the worst. But this move isn't made for the regular season. This move is made to win a championship. I think they are close to winning a championship, but they're going to have to fill out that roster a little better. They're going to need a 2 guard who can play the 3 and D position. They're going to need a little bit more bench depth. They're a little older. Remember, the 2 bigs are Lopez and Bobby Portis. Both those guys are a little older, so you want to get a little younger there. And Giannis is going to have to fully embrace the role as a defensive enforcer and defensive stopper. Trip, you and I talked about it during the playoffs last year, and we've talked about it in the past, even when he won Defense Player of the Year. He's got to be more willing to take on the assignment against the best offensive player of the other team. And so with Dame now losing the defense of Drew Holiday, who I know we're going to talk about in a little bit, Giannis now has to embrace that role. The MVPs and all that are great. He's got to become a defensive enforcer for Milwaukee to really reach their potential.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 1,000%. Um, I love the trade for Milwaukee. I like Drew Holiday in Milwaukee. I think he's a solid two-way point guard. But teams are getting better every year, and Dame takes this team to a whole nother level. Now you have somebody, like you said, who can really kind of take over the games. You can put the ball in Dame's hands because he's going to knock down free throws. Plus, he's going to knock down big shots. Whereas, a lot of times we see Giannis with the ball in his hands during those times, and he's not the greatest of free throw shooters. So now you have a bona fide superstar, number 2, with Damian Lillard going there. I see him closing out a lot of the games for this team. You still got Middleton out there, who's a great two-way player. And then, of course, Giannis is probably the best two-way player in basketball right now. So I don't think they suffer too much on the defensive end, removing Holiday, because, they still have Brook Lopez there. They still got Bobby Portis. Shout out to Brook Lopez because, I was talking about Brook Lopez the other day. Brook Lopez done reinvented his game so many times. He went from just being just a regular back to the basket player Then he got out west, started shooting the three. Then he came back to Milwaukee. Now he's Defensive Player of the Year candidate. At his age, to continue to progress and show different aspects of his game, that's going to be very beneficial, for the Milwaukee Bucks. I like it, man. Sucks, sucks for Drew, but he ended up in a very good situation as well. As some of you guys have mentioned in the comments, let me throw Javon. Shout out to Javon Pastor. Drew Holiday to the Celtics. Now the Celtics are the front runners coming into the season. What does Drew bring them? I don't know if I necessarily got the Celtics as the front runners going into the season. I think it's damn near neck and neck with them in Milwaukee, because I know they do bring in Drew Holiday to play the point guard role, which is a role that they've been missing. He also plays defense, but they did have to send out Robert Williams as a part of that deal. They gave up a little bit of their depth as well as a part of that deal. I think it's kind of neck and neck. I think it's going to come down to who can stay the healthiest the longest, realistically, because obviously you lose Robert Williams, but you still do have Porzingis if you're Boston. But he actually has to come back from injury, work himself into game shape, and then be available later into the season, going into the playoffs. I think this thing is pretty evenly matched at 1 and 2. So I don't know if I would necessarily say the front runners, but Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics is a huge upgrade for them. They kind of have a big four now with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, and Drew Holiday. What was your thoughts when Holiday wound up in Boston?
I loved it. I loved it. It was something that we kind of talked about during the Friday Night Live. And I think Boston is the better team. And that's no knock against Milwaukee. But as you mentioned, you're talking about the talent with Tatum, Brown, now Holiday, Porzingis as your fourth guy. Losing Robert Williams, I don't think would be that big of a deal, because Robert Williams is a guy who they couldn't rely on to stay healthy anyway. He missed a lot of time for them. And so they had to plug and play other guys at the five. Horford is still going to be one of those guys that they rely on late game situation. But I think you can sign a big, and shout out to Ron because I like that comment as well, where Ron mentioned about Matt Barnes' tweet, signed Dwight Howard. You can go get you a big who's just a rim protector and a rim runner. You don't need anything really special there for Boston. Right now, Holiday, I think, is an upgrade over Marcus Smart. Derek White was going to take a lot of Malcolm Brogdon's minutes anyway, so Brogdon going out in the deal doesn't hurt them as much. I like what Boston is doing. And whenever you're the team that's been a 4 out of the last 5 Eastern Conference Finals, I think you do have an advantage over Milwaukee. Again, no disrespect to Milwaukee, but Milwaukee lost in 5 games last year. The year before that, they lost in the second round. The year before that, we all know they probably shouldn't have beat Brooklyn if Brooklyn was healthy in the playoffs. So Milwaukee, for as great as Giannis is, they've underachieved at times in the playoffs. They had the one playoff run. Other than that, there's been some early exits from them. With Boston, at the very least, we've seen them in the Eastern Conference Finals year in, year out. So I think they are a little better team there. I like Boston's roster.
Yeah, I mean, I like the roster too. Holiday is a big upgrade for the team. Hold on one second, Eric. I got the fellas trying to get on to the platform right now. Let me see what's going on with Justin Biggs. But yeah, I do like the roster, but I just think that the combination of Giannis and Dame is going to be so deadly. And when we're ranking the players on both of these teams, Giannis is clearly number one. And then after that, you can argue that Dame is the second best player out of everybody on this team. But if you want to say Jason Tatum and Dame are like neck and neck, I don't see either one of these guys as like leaps and bounds ahead of the other. But again, the two of the best players out of the both teams are playing for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can simplify it just in that way, because we got to remember Dame has only played in 1 conference finals. So now playing with the expectations, they also have a first-time head coach in Adrian Griffin. You don't know how that's going to work out for them as well. And then again, they are the older roster because Lopez, Portis, those guys are already, and Dame himself are all in their mid-30s. So now you're asking those guys to hold up for a whole 82-game season and then get you through 3 rounds of the playoffs. Dame has missed a lot of time the last couple of years with injury. I know there was a lot made about him being told to sit out the last 10 games of this year so that Portland could get a better draft pick. But even before those last 10 games, he had already missed significant time. So Dame has got to show that he can be healthy for at least 60 games a year before we can say, are they without a doubt have the best two players out of those teams. Boston, to me, even if you want to say Dame is the second best player out of those two teams, Boston to me has shown it year in, year out that they're going to be there. Milwaukee has only had that one playoff run. That's why I give the advantage to Boston. Again, that's not to say that, they're head and shoulders better than Milwaukee, because like I said, I think Milwaukee is the top two team in the East. So I expect Milwaukee to be in that conversation. But if you're telling me, or if you're asking me, hey, who do you think is more reliable? I think it's Boston. They've shown it year in, year out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Boston is going to be there, but at the end of the day, Boston has not gotten it done yet. Whereas Milwaukee has gotten the job done. They do understand how to win. So I'm still going to give them a little bit of the edge in the situation. But again, it's very close. It's not like either one of these teams is far off. So if you go on Boston, I can't be mad at you. If you go on Milwaukee, I can't be mad at you either. But either way, I think the Eastern Conference Finals comes down to Boston and Milwaukee, and we'll see who goes on from there.
Right now, on paper, that's the way it looks. Yeah.
Facts. All right, we're gonna get back to the NBA a little bit later. We got our special guest in the building. We deemed y'all as the new first family of boxing. So welcome to the program, or welcome back to you, Justin and Chris. Welcome for the first time. We finally got the whole family to pull up. We got to get y'all all together at the same time in one show, because this is the new first family of boxing right here. What's going on, fellas?
Oh man,
What's up? We appreciate that, man.
Thank you, man. Yo, thank you guys. And I think Milwaukee gonna take it easy, man.
There we go.
Yeah.
The champ said it. The champ with the stamp one.
You already know. I always repost a video. Just shout out to you and your brother first. I'm not arguing with the champ. If he's saying it's Milwaukee, then I guess we just got to say it's Milwaukee. I'm not arguing with the champ on that. But how you guys doing today, man?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We just been took a little vacation, relaxing for a little bit. He got a little sick, but he's here.
Yeah, fellas, I came just for y'all, man. I don't, man. I'm so congested right now, but if I start coughing too much, I might have to slide out, just not to mess up the show.
I appreciate that. We're gonna chalk this up as your flu game. This is your flu game right here.
Yeah. We fighting soon anyway, so fights don't stop. But
can y'all turn the phone sideways?
Sideways?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. We good. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
So let me ask y'all this, just because you guys just came off of a fight last month. Talk to me about that situation.
Oh man, it was fight number 14, man. I've had 7 fights since I've been back. Since June, I had my shoulder surgeries for everything. I've been just fighting a lot. 4 months, very active, and I got a chance to fight for the WBC title.
That's what we got the hat for.
Yeah. So puts me in line to fight like Jamel Charlo, who's champion right now, and so I'm just really happy about that.
See, I like this type of talk, because we've been there from before the first belt, and then now to where we at now. That's a big name you threw out there. You fighting one of the Charlo brothers for that belt. So how far removed are we from that situation?
Man, it should be within he just had to fight with Canelo last night. So he says he's coming back to 154. So if he comes back, then it could be in a few fights, man. Realistically, depending on what he wants to do. But if he leaves, then I definitely can match up with some of the other guys. I just want like the number one spot. So
let me ask you guys. Well, I know we're gonna get to the questions from the fans, but I want to ask the brothers directly, because I know you guys were locked in yesterday watching the fight.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on the performance from Canelo and Charlo yesterday, and did your opinion change in any way about either fighter?
I never really thought much of Canelo Alvarez. I thought he was always good, but just when I say much, I mean I thought he was a bit overrated. Like a good product that just marketed very well. But Charlo, I thought better of him. I thought he would make a better account of himself. But just the build up to the fight, it just seemed like he was just happy to be there, and the stage was too bright for him, I believe.
Canelo was on one though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Canelo was on seek and destroy time. Like
Yeah.
he had no respect for Charlo. That was different to see that. He like a lot like Castaño, but it was just different. He just knew that he knew Charlo couldn't mess with him that night.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Did you
said he
guys
was up
feel?
in the mountains getting his win right because he wasn't able to keep that same energy up in the later rounds the last couple of fights. So he said he was up in the mountains, guys breathing together, and now he y'all heard what he said. Nobody could beat that Canelo Alvarez. So I don't know, that remains to be seen, but I did like what he did last night.
Yeah. I like you know what, Canelo did good. You got to give him respect just because he's been in fight boxing for so long, 60 wins. But I don't consider like Charlo coming up 2 weight classes like the upper echelon of competition. If it was like Benavidez or Demetrius Andre or the bigger Charlo, I would have been like, okay, yeah, he's this is an amazing win. But it was like what's supposed to happen,
Did you guys see the Bud Crawford tweet where he basically said he felt Charlo was just out there trying to survive? And do you guys agree with that with his performance yesterday?
Yeah, like I think it was like kind of like a bit disgraceful, man. Like I just felt like Lions only a lot of, like I don't know. You make it to that point, and it's like for me, if it would have been me per se, I'd rather go out trying to win, like on my shield, and be like, yo, man, I tried and I got caught with something. But unless there's like a bigger reason, meaning like if it's I heard somebody's hand being broken, then I understand. But I would have just went for broke. I mean, this is the fight, of his life. And but I knew it was coming because when he was training at home in Texas, he was like, "Oh man, being a father doesn't stop." And I'm not going away. And he was just with his girl the whole time. He's with his kids, and that's fine. But you're going in there to kill or be killed, man. You can't be around like your girl and your kids and stuff like that. A hungry man is going to train in the mountains by himself, just him and his trainer, and sacrifice everything. So I saw he was doing that for a fight of that caliber.
There's one side where you could say is Canelo Alvarez just that great to where he makes Jermell Charlo the undisputed champion at 154. He make him just look that average. Then there's the other side of it that's like, did Jamel just bite off more than he could chew? But to me, I felt like this would happen, but at the same time, I was hoping that Charlo could have just bit down a little harder and just, I don't know, throw the right hand a little more.
Fight. It was
throw
fight.
the right hand a little
Just
more.
Fight him, yeah.
Throw the jab with authority. I'm seeing Canelo 3-inch reach deficit, like killing Charlo with the jab. I'm like seeing that little things like that. It's like, is that the weight or is it just the moment? So that was kind of my assessment of it. I just feel like I wanted to see a little more. I wanted to see more. I want to see more from Charlo. Just come at him just like he's coming at you. You a man too. Y'all both men. The weight is whatever. But at the end of the day, we gonna fight. If you walking me down, I'm gonna meet you in the middle, and we gonna have to just fight it out at some point.
Let me ask y'all this, because going up 2 weight classes at once is in itself is a tough task. Do you think that Charlo should have fought someone else at that weight class first and then went to Canelo?
Ideally, yeah, you'll take your time, but this is not, to me, I haven't been in there with Canelo, but just watching, I'm just like, this is not insurmountable. This is not like, yo, man, it's not like he's fighting a guy he's 6'6" and he's super long arms and never been defeated, and you coming up 2 weight classes to fight some giant. It wasn't like that to me. He's the guy that we've seen him lose to Floyd Mayweather. He came, and also Canelo has came from 147, so he's a naturally smaller guy. So you know what to expect. We've seen a lot of tape on him. I expected more, better.
Yeah, I thought the performance would have been better as well. you mentioned Benavidez, who obviously was thrown out there yesterday as Canelo's potential next fight, but there's been rumors that him and Demetrius Andrade are going to get it on first.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like that? How do you like that fight, and how do you see that fight playing out if it does happen?
I go Demetrius Andre. People said I was crazy. I was actually on live yesterday with Zab, and they were saying basically, oh nah, Demetrius Benavidez is gonna mow through him, but I'm like, nah, man. I'm going with Demetrius Andre. I feel like he'll be able to replicate what Caleb Plant did in the beginning, and get well. You know what it is? It's always you gotta ask two questions: who's really gonna win, and who they're gonna give the fight to. Now, I believe that when we watch the fight, we're gonna say, wow, Demetrius Andre outboxed him, and similar to what Caleb Plant did earlier in the fight. And then, but they may give the fight to Benavidez on the split decision. But I believe we will leave there like, dang, like Lara and Canelo will be like, damn, Lara won that fight.
Right, Lara was a slicker boxer in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like though, like one of the concerns I had yesterday with the Charlo fight, and even with Caleb Plant, as you mentioned, when you have a slick boxer like Caleb Plant, right? Those early rounds he can get away with it, but if he can't stop you from coming forward, Benavidez then starts to tee off like he did in that fight against Caleb Plant. Do you feel that could be an issue for Demetrius as well, when maybe early on his slick boxing is able to keep him at a distance, but then once Benavidez knows he can't really back me down, I'm going to start keep applying pressure?
There's different guys with different mindsets. So Caleb Plant, he lost to me when he said ninth round. He said not bad for not too bad, right, Canelo? Like
Canelo, yeah.
That's a man that's conceding. That's a man who's not there, who's there to prove something to himself. Like, I can really do this. I'm on this level. Demetrius Andre has criticized Canelo Alvarez for a long time. He's been an Olympian. When we were coming up in the amateurs, he's a couple years older than me. He was the man. He's used to being the man. He was never given a shot. And as long as he's not getting old, I believe he's going to go in there from start to finish, and you're not going to be able to hit him with a couple shots. Caleb didn't get knocked out. Basically, what I'm saying is this. Boo Boo feels like he's better than Caleb Plant. Boo Boo feels like he's better than Canelo Alvarez. He is not going to allow himself to get knocked out in the same fashion as Caleb Plant. He's a different caliber of fighter.
Let me go to this fan mail question because we got a couple of questions coming in for you guys. Javon Pastor says, what was you guys upbringing like? How many siblings?
What's up, Javon? What's up, man?
What's going on?
We have a lot of siblings, man. There's 7 of us total. Boxing upbringing, just first memories in the gym, watching fights, just recognizing Zab coming up and being real close to my older brother Raymond. So as a little baby, as a baby, I just remember idolizing boxers, looking up to them, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do yet, but definitely like that's those are my first most impactful memories, right next to like my dad, my mom, my brothers, my sister. So
we grew up watching boxing. My father trained us from little, learning to box in the kitchen, stuff like that. And I thought everybody grew up to be a boxer. So I was like, when I get older, I'm gonna win the Golden Gloves. I'm gonna become world champion and be fighting on HBO. But there's no more HBO boxing. But that was my thoughts as a child.
Yeah, it might be a streaming app or something now,
but HBO Max, right?
They're gonna be there. Yeah.
So Showtime, I think Dazin is out there. The pay-per-view game is still looking good. Y'all gonna get that. It's coming very soon. Just not gonna be on HBO no more. Y'all don't get the Letterman card, but it's all good because we still gonna be a lot of pay-per-views with y'all names on them.
And we got to give you guys your kudos as well, because you kind of launched your own platform for some of your own fights as well, right?
Yeah. We have BP Network where we launch a lot of fights, even fights when we're not personally fighting, working those cards. We're gonna relaunch it soon. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna be relaunching it soon. But yeah, we just work and do what we got to do. Just trying to be innovative, thinking about the future. It's gonna come a day where I may not, boxing is past, and I just want to be bringing up the new stars and just having ownership. And it kind of sucks when you have someone telling you when you can and can't fight, what you can and can't do. And it's time that our people get a piece of the pie.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit more, both of you guys, about the relationship with Zab and Yoel, and how impactful that's been on you guys coming up in the fight game?
Yeah, Yoel, having Yoel around is like having the grandfather of boxing, especially in New York, East Coast. But he's been all over worldwide. Like he has his stamp of approval from every legend, every gym. So just having that gives us all kinds of confidence, specifically me, in amateurs, because I don't have that many amateur fights. So even into the pros, it gives me, like, when he says I do something right, I know for sure that I'm doing it right, and I just go with that, man. But we're so close to him, family friend. Our mom loves him, and he was super, super close with my dad. If our dad, pretty much, if he ever wasn't here like he is now, rest his soul, he would only want us to be training with Yoel, to be honest. So
it's cool. Like you're working with Yoel is amazing because it's like the way I look at Zab is like he's a legend. He's a guy that directly impacted me to box, and my older brother. So when I'm like hitting the pads and he's like, "Oh man, like you punching like Zab or you do this," you get to kind of compare yourself to someone that's great. Like I guess if you're doing other, playing golf and someone's like, you got to swing like Tiger. Tiger Woods would do this. You just know you're like, wow, in that path of just being great.
We talking about, that's a legacy right there in boxing with Zab and Yoel. Zab definitely one of the greatest. And then on top of that, Zab also, being from Brooklyn, you guys being from Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn is being represented very well right now in the fight game.
Yeah, we got some cool fighters in Brooklyn, but compared to Zab, it's like big shoes to fill. Like I don't. We got some cool fighters, but Zab was just dominant. He was exciting. He had like that it factor. I think that's just really missing from the landscape and just being around and growing up with a lot of guys. Just to be honest, to me, it always feels like there's guys that our guys are good, but we can't let them fight him.
Yeah.
Zab was just like, yeah, we're gonna put Zab against you and see what happens. I wouldn't bet on a lot of the guys that we have here, like against top like them guys.
Yeah, facts. Let me go
Sorry,
to
just to keep it real, just to get just to keep it real. You're right. Just so you guys don't go ahead and go, I'm gonna bet on so and so. Like, nah.
I mean, that's what real championship is
Yeah.
about. You got to put your champion up against other champions.
Yeah.
facts.
I mean, do y'all feel like we got them guys that could take on the world right now at the top in Brooklyn, or I mean in New York, period?
Well, I was referring to y'all two, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, I didn't want to be like, yeah. Okay, I thought you collectively talking about it. Yeah, but I mean, but that's my thing, man.
Young
It's like,
fighters,
you got Shushu out of Brooklyn.
oh yeah, okay, okay. Yeah,
So it's a couple young guys.
Yeah. I forget that you guys were, but see, my mindset is like, I look at the guys at the top, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna beat them and I'm gonna like destroy them and I'm gonna just try my best,
You should, as you should.
I don't like feel like, oh man, that guy, like, that's like the little. But yeah, we get.
Well, we definitely want to reading the comment here.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Imani Williams. She been right
Thank you.
for a long time. I'll let y'all read that question because I don't read those kind of questions.
Man, he read it, Chris. Thank you, man.
Yeah. In case they can't see it, she said, "Don't want to offend y'all wife/girlfriend if y'all have one, but y'all handsome dudes. Outside of boxing, what other sport did you all play coming up, and were you good in any of them?" If I was better at basketball than I am at boxing, I'll be playing basketball, Imani. I'll tell you that right now. But I think if realistically, I'm the type of person, if I put my mind to anything. And thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Anything we really put our minds to, I put my mind to, I could do it. But just like, like I was saying, growing up into boxing, that was the first passion right there. Nothing else got to me first. So, we just going with this one. And we're gonna take it to the absolute limit, man. We up there on them lists, top 15, top 10s. We want everybody and anybody. I'm trying to be feared to the point where nobody even wants to call my name. So,
but yeah, let's talk about the sports question. I played a little bit of basketball. I was on the football team for like one day. I feel like, but what got me though? It was like when I didn't realize it was so much. We would go to the locker room and we had to watch film and like go over stuff. And my attention span was just so short. I was like, I can't do this. I need to like. I know it was that much thinking that came with it. But I feel like I could have been like a quarterback, or I'm pretty good at basketball. Like
now, do you feel maybe the attention span was lacking because you wasn't really into it? Because boxing is very technical, and you've got to be paying attention. And like I'm sure when you're going over things with your and even when you're in the ring, your mind is moving 100 miles a minute. So it's like, you think it was maybe just because maybe you weren't into the sport that much?
I think that I never grew up watching basketball, or like when everybody, like I say this all the time, people like kids in school like Kobe Bryant. I was like, Zab, man, like that's all I knew, like all I watched in my household. So I had to really like sit down and like learn those things. So I guess when you're watching something very bloody, and like the stakes are so high, I think boxing was always like, oh my God, like the adrenaline of, is this guy gonna get knocked out? Is he gonna like? It's just so dramatic that I didn't really understand the concept of other sports. Now, as I get older, I like really, really enjoy it and see everything. But in boxing, I can see something once since a little kid, and I can just copy. I could copy anything. Just my dad would be like, "Yo, I'll show you something once, and you get it," But other things is a little different.
Yeah, so you're right, man. It probably has something to do with that.
Yeah,
just that attention span of other sports versus boxing.
Overstimulation too, I think. Like just,
Let me ask you guys this, Justin. We've been to one of your training sessions. Out of the two of you guys, who trains the hardest?
Out of me and Justin.
Yeah.
He trains harder than me. He does.
That's that.
I mean, there's certain things that I smoke him at, like sit-ups and shit. He can't rock my sit-ups, but he got me in pads. Yeah. He's got more fights than me, so he got me in rounds of spar right now. But we'll see. We'll see in about a year, about the 2 years when I hit the double digits.
I fight longer periods of time. Yeah, I'm a 10 round fighter. He's a 6-round fighter. So
it's about to be a Peyton Eli rivalry.
Yeah. Yeah, one for the legends for sure. But
I also may train too hard, though. I've also heard that. Like I think I do too much sometimes.
Let me throw Scoop Hoops comment up there on the screen for you guys. Justin, talk about your win over Eric Bossler.
Oh, thanks. Eric Bossler, man, that was a tough one. We fought up in Tennessee. Really tough dude, man. A lot better than I knew he was tough, but a lot better technically than I thought. And I could tell in the fight he watched a lot of my tapes. I'm good at switching. Caught me with a good shot in the third round. And but I ended up taking it because you got it. Some people are able to give it, but they're not able to take punishment. So you have to be able to give it and take it. And I think in that fight I proved that and was able to get the victory. But much shout outs to Eric Bossler, man, a warrior, and he gonna upset a lot of people.
Was that the first time you took a shot like that in the ring where you felt like, oh, hold up?
When I actually the second time when I fought, I think that was probably the hardest. But when I fought Roberto Gonzalez, talk about the one over. when I fought Roberto Gonzalez, I got hit with a really, really good shot for the first time. And this one, it happened again. So it's like every 6 fights or something.
Can you
That's
can
a
you
good ratio.
explain? Can you explain to the viewers, because Trip and I
Mhm.
always talk about this when we're watching fights with people and they don't understand like the discipline to stay patient and fight. But like you said, you take a big shot and you got to keep
Mhm.
your composure. People expect you to just go in there and start swinging wild and knock somebody out. How difficult it is to kind of center yourself after taking a big shot.
Well, it's kind of hard because, I think that the thing about being a fighter is that you understand how you look. So basically, I have to know what my hand positioning is, where my body is, if I'm square, if I'm so like I have to kind of see myself. So when you get hit, you're disoriented because 9 times out of 10, if you get hit really good and hurt, it's a concussion. So you have a concussion, and you have to figure out how to stay calm, throw the right punches at the right time because you don't want the fight to be stopped. Your facial expression can't change. Your legs may have wobbled, and you're trying to throw some shots just to grab them, or if you're in a bad position, you're trying to make a miss to grab them, get your head clear, and trick the other person to believing that you're actually okay, and you may not be okay the rest of the fight. So it's just tough.
Yeah, I argue with people all the time because they just to them, oh, why isn't he throwing more? It's like, bro, you saw the shots he just took. He got to get himself together.
Yeah. You got to get yourself together because you're lucky enough. Like I always thank God when I get hit good, and I'm not like sleep. Like I'm like, God, thank you. So at least I can figure out how to get out of this situation. But it's an incredible feeling, man. When you get hit with those type of shots, the crowd goes crazy. You want to do something, but your first initial feeling, to be honest, is fear, man. When a guy hits you really good, your brain sends it to your body like, yo, you gotta get out of here, and you have to go, no, I ain't. We're gonna get ourselves together. We're gonna win this fight. But initially, you're in a very weird place. Like you don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
So let me ask you, what is it like on the other end when you land that big shot and you feel it like, oh, I landed that one?
Man, it's euphoric. Like you could be literally dead tired, like breathing heavy, and you land that shot, you get a boost of adrenaline. If you haven't played Fight Night,
Mhm.
like you hit somebody, your life thing go up, and you start to throw combinations.
That stamina gauge.
You got about 30 seconds of stamina to get the guy out of there.
That's why you see a lot of times fighters charging after they get that one, then they just going for it.
Yep, they're going for a crazy. It's an incredible feeling, man. Knocking people out is nothing like it.
That's the feeling that we
Yeah.
fight for, man. That's the one right there. And then you start
Yeah.
landing and heating up.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, boy. You know it's coming. It's just a matter of time.
Let's talk about your transitioning and being in the ring. How was it for you to get to that next level?
For me,
Yeah.
it was a matter of paying very close attention to uh, boxing and to how I look as a fighter. I started to look and see like, okay, if I were fighting me, what would I do? And those were the first, like if I exploited a weakness, if I saw I might have carried my right hand a little low, or if I left my sides exposed. Um, I noticed that before I came into the pros, it was a lot harder for me to fight on the inside. So I just would practice uppercuts, practice body work, and then how to position myself when I'm on the inside. So those were the most important things I had to do. Really just putting those amateurish ways behind me and just making sure my body looked strong and absorbing shots. Just as well, like basically, 'cause I'm a tall dude. I'm 6'2", fighting 140 right now. So everybody's gonna try to get in. I had to make sure that they don't want to come in, and when they come in, whatever they get is definitely not what they were looking for.
I'm gonna go to Pooh's question for you guys next. Big shout out to Pooh. What aspects of your game do you feel separates you from other fighters?
What's up, Pooh?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think me personally, you just don't know what version of uh, Justin Biggs you're gonna get. So you don't know if I'm gonna fight on the inside. I think Eric Boss fight I fought on the inside very well. Well, the whole fight I was on the inside against a shorter opponent, and a puncher. When I fought other fights, you may see me box totally on the outside, and then I could just do a lot of different things, and everything I do, I feel like is great, and other guys do some stuff. Guy may do one thing great. I'm a great inside fighter, but I feel like everything I pretty much do great.
Yeah, for me, I have to say that it's my size is one huge aspect that just separates me from other fighters in and around my weight. But on a broader spectrum, there's other fighters. It's just I believe I have it all. I have every single um, piece. It's just a matter of me developing it and mastering it to the point where I could just utilize it however much I want to. Really, and that just comes with experience and timing. But I have speed, I have power, I have defense, I have IQ, I have footwork, I have head movement, ring generalship.
Yeah.
I can close the distance very well. I can find the inside. It's just a matter of me just making it even better, everything better.
Yeah. That's a good question. And one punch knockout power though too. I think that's
That
another
always
thing I
helps.
noticed. Yeah, it helps. Yeah, guys kind of like knock people out with accumulation, but I think when you can knock somebody out like one shot,
Yeah.
in middleweight or lightweight is pretty special.
Growing up in boxing, as you mentioned, with your dad, showing you guys the sport very early on, and then getting the tutelage from Yoel. How easy is it for you guys to make in-fight adjustments? Because I'm big on fighters who can make those type of adjustments while things are happening.
Well, my dad would watch like fights with us, and he would go, and as soon as the fight begins, first round, he's gonna knock him out with a left hook. So his eye was just so brilliant that he's able just to see things before they happen. And just growing up and watching fights with him, I started to develop that kind of like IQ. And I believe that being able to make adjustments, it comes from watching a lot of boxing. A lot of fighters don't watch boxing. Boxing only begins with for them like Floyd Mayweather. So they haven't watched like the legends and George Foreman's and some of the Henry Armstrong, some of Willie Pep. They haven't watched that deep into it. So if I'm fighting someone, I watch how the guy fights, and I'll watch a fight that's similar to that one, with the person that uh kind of like had my frame won the fight, and I'll watch it and I'll go, okay, that's what I'm probably gonna do in the fight, and I watch a few fights like that. So I think that's the big thing that my father gave me.
And you guys mentioned your father. I'm gonna go to this next question from Laquanda James. Big shout out to Laquanda. In 2015, you all lost your father. My question is, what kind of father was he, and what do you miss the most about him? She lost hers a few years ago, and it was a struggle, and it still is. So, how do you guys deal with it?
Yeah, that's a good question. You never really get over it. I think like this is our dad's dream, and we're making it come true. And it's like bittersweet because I'm also very sorry about you losing your father. My condolences. Um, it's hard because you're doing something, he's happy and he approves of it, but you don't really feel. I know people say that they're here with you, but you don't. You want to see their facial expression. You want to see them happy. So, but I'm glad that I know I'm doing something that he approves of. Me and my brother.
Uh, Thank you, Laquana. Yeah, we definitely did lose our father. He was a great man, loved by many people. To this day, we come across certain people that may not know that he passed away, and we tell them, and the just look of shock on their face and hurt. It's almost as if they saw him as someone that couldn't even really pass away. And I understand because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, he put us on this path. I missed the most. I wouldn't say I miss pretty much everything about him, but I think the thing that really sticks out to me is him not being able to enjoy these moments with us in the physical sense like we're used to. That's the hardest part of all of it.
Yeah, I missed him getting me into fights and stuff.
Right.
Like other
Yeah.
fighters, like he would come, like our dad would come on here, and probably say some crazy stuff about the fighter. And then me and him ended up fighting because he said that. And I'm like, I have nothing against the guy, but I'm definitely going to like represent because my dad said that type of stuff. So it's sheer excitement. Yeah.
You talked about the history of the sport. Who was your dad's favorite fighter?
Dang. Who's dad's favorite fighter?
I don't ever remember him saying that he had one, to be honest. But I'm sure he must have had one. Yeah. I recently learned that my grandfather used to sit him and my uncle down and watch boxing every weekend. So he must have had a favorite.
His kids, no, it's Pernell.
Pernell's his favorite.
Pernell Whitaker was his favorite. They got the coach of my brother together.
Nice.
Yeah, I met Pernell too. Look what I got, man. I just pulled this out for y'all.
Yeah, man, to pull it out.
Yeah. You mad because he's styling on y'all? Oh, okay. Come on, man. That's a new one. We haven't actually got to see that belt up close.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come to the gym because I need to see that belt up close and personal, man.
Please do, y'all. Yeah. Please do, man.
Definitely, man.
Come by.
Back up. Let's keep it on family. Big shout out to Lene. Lene says, talk about your beautiful sister who is a boxer. Y'all gotta be proud of her, and it's rare to have 3 boxers in the family, isn't it?
Absolutely. Hi, Lene. How you doing? Yeah, it's very rare. My sister, she's a beast, man. What more can we really say? Like when it comes to boxing, she's a beast. She went through some complications with health. She had a clot, like a year, some change back. Mm-hmm. So that kind of set her back. It's been a little dangerous for her to get back into it, but I know, as soon as she can, that she will. We're very proud of her, and it's tough having multiple boxers in one family because, like sometimes, I look at my sister. I'm like, she has. I think she has more talent than all of us, all of the brothers. I think she has more pure raw talent. Like she just put some gloves on and started whipping people up early.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part of it, though. You see how much talent somebody has. Mm-hmm. And then you may not see that in yourself as of yet, or maybe you do, I don't know. But you'll expect more from them than maybe sometimes they might expect from themselves.
Yeah, we definitely proud of her. She's she's incredible. She's coaching us now, so all our wins that we've had, 7 or 8, she's been there working with us. So
yeah, she's undefeated. 15-0 undefeated as a professional trainer.
2-0 undefeated as a boxer. Has a belt. And is on a path to being a world champion. So it's a good feeling, and we just happy to have. But like he was saying, it's weird though because when you're all fighting on the same day, imagine like you're in your locker room getting ready. You got to watch the results of your sister and your brother, and you're like, oh shit, like they got that win. And you're like, let me go out there and get my win. You're trying to be there for them, and you got
pressure on you if after you see one of your siblings win and then now you got to go up. Is the pressure now?
It actually takes the pressure off of me because it's like I'm more worried about them. Like I'm like, dang, is she all right? Is she good?
I think just for so you telling me if Chris knocks somebody out in the first round, you're not like I got to get him out of there in 30 seconds. I can't let little bro get that joint right there.
You know what? Yeah, part of me goes, I better win. I better not be the only one going home. Like we used to go home, and I remember if I won and he didn't win, it would be weird because I can't be super excited. The car ride home, but yeah, it does put extra motivation. It does. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, these car rides is all wins. Everybody's winning. Ain't nobody going home. Feeling slighted. We be coming home with trophies and belts from here on out.
That's what it is. I mean, Trip, we got to get to the gym because we talking to 2 future champions, and then your sister might be trainer of the year soon. So you know what I'm saying? It definitely might be something crazy happening right there.
Yeah.
Man, wow! Let's speak that into existence for sure, man.
That's a fact.
Let me give one really quick shout out while we talking about the fam. I always got to shout out Mama Biggs because she took care of me and Eric. I got to tell the story. I love telling the story. We came through to one of Justin's earlier fights, and he got the W too damn fast, so we couldn't enjoy the fight. We got there late, And Mama Biggs was like, listen, here, y'all take y'all money back because, we paid, we wanted to support. And she was like, nah, I can't even take y'all money. And then, it's been love ever since then. So I got to send her some love while we on here with you guys.
We were
Yeah,
literally
she loved
walking through the doors of the venue when your mom stopped. It's like, oh, it's over already. It was like, what do you mean? We just got it. She's like, no, it's over. It's done. He got him up out of there quick. So,
Facts.
shout out to moms for real, man.
Appreciate that, y'all. Yeah, she loved to hear that shout out. We're gonna tell you said it for sure.
She's gonna be super excited.
Yeah, man. That's her though. She'll take care of you guys, man. Anybody that's like, if y'all rock with us, she rocks with y'all for sure.
Yeah, and you guys are so like, man, professional, and I love what you guys are doing. With this platform right here, and just for being there for me, man. I mean, like, if it's
this is family, man. This is family. This is a family affair.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be up here with y'all, man. Honored, man.
And y'all gotta go back to for everybody that's watching and check the previous interviews with the family, because we got everybody up here, and now we got the Holy Trinity now. So y'all go back in the archives and check those. And Janetta, don't worry, I'm getting to everybody's comments. I'm gonna go to your comment right now, Janetta. All right, both of you give me your top 5 boxers of all time. Do you all know your history? Because sometimes us youngins don't know about the Mike Tysons, the Alis, the Foremans, the Roy Jones Juniors.
To be fair, yeah. Janetta did post this before you started going into the history as well. So she she hadn't heard that comment yet. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's cool. That's not even far back enough, Janetta. You got to go further back. Archie Moore, Marciano, Joe Louis, and even further back from that, man. Sugar Ray Robinson, like Justin said, Henry Armstrong, Willie Pep. I was just reading on that dude. Remember that dude they said for heavyweight, he was short? What was that guy's name? Oh, Sam Langford. It's so many of them, man. There's so many of them. Top 5. I'd say my top 5 is Manny Pacquiao's in my top 5. There's no order, so nobody gets mad. Manny Pacquiao. I say Roy Jones. Man, there's so many good fighters, man. One of my favorite fighters is Sergio Martinez. I ain't gonna say he's top 5 best, but I'm throwing him in there. That was one of my favorite fighters coming up. Of course, Zab Judah. Man, there's a lot of great fighters, man. Damn. I'll put. Who you got, Jess? Go ahead. Give me some.
I'm gonna go with Zab Judah, Roy Jones Jr.
I didn't say Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. Terrence Crawford, Jack Johnson, and I'm gonna go with. It's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Chad Johnson. Chad Dawson.
No Money Mayweather?
Huh?
No Floyd Money Mayweather? Come on, man.
Listen, it's their personal preference. They allowed to have who's on their list.
Now, do I think?
Roberto Duran.
Do I think Floyd is one of the best ever? Yeah. But I wouldn't. I'm just probably putting guys that affected me and my style, and I just love to watch them. Like he's probably better than a lot of people on that list. But for each reason, I have a different reason for a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I see the first one I said was Pacquiao. That's just because of what Pacquiao did and the way he came into mainstream boxing. He guns blazing, knocking everybody out.
Yeah.
Nobody had answers for him. Everyone was scared of him. I'd never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah.
Being in our background too, we come from a background of slick boxers. The black fighters in the East Coast, that's what we do best. But like certain things I've never seen. You just going like even Zab had an amazing hybrid fusion of that slick boxing. But the second he sees that green light, he's gonna take it. Killer
instinct, man. Boxing is hard. If I'm in a fight where I gotta box, I'm gonna just box. But I don't want y'all to come to fights and just see me always not engaging and stuff, like with the opponent and trying to really hurt them. I think that boxing had like a very, even now, it's you have guys that get in there and they're great fighters, but they're just not applying themselves and mastering the art of knocking people out and hurting them. So I don't like to watch fights like that, to be honest. You know?
Nah, I can tell Chris like to mix it up because he mentioned Sergio Martinez, Manny Pacquiao, and and Roberto Duran. So
Yeah.
he like to get people up out that ring. He want to mix it up. It ain't going 12.
Say, listen, I love to, man. I really love to, because I actually, when I was first started boxing, I was just a mover. I would move and tag you up when I can, and you probably wouldn't be able to touch me. But as I grew up, I'm like, man, this takes too much energy. Like if I put half the energy I put into moving, into punching somebody in the face, then this fight will be over in less time. So that's what I started to do.
Makes
So
sense. Time efficient.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna go to Hoop Ball of Scoops question because this can connect. How can a boxer mentally control a match?
Me, I talk to myself when I'm in there. One of my last fights, I think it was my 6th fight. It was my first 6-rounder, and it was a little tough. The getting was tough. So I had to just talk to myself like, man, I'm not about to let myself lose. I'm not about to, talk myself through it. Know that you train, obviously, because if you don't train properly, you get in there, and no amount of mental strength gonna help you. But if you train like you're supposed to, you just will yourself through it, talk yourself through it, and hope to God you have a good coach and good trainer. My sister helps a lot with that. My brother be there, I hear him, and absolutely, like, none other than your will.
Yeah.
None other than your will. He'll make you feel like you could defeat anybody, and
Yeah. I think for me, it's like my dad used to say, like, you gotta let a good fighter lets the person see what they want them to see. So if I'm allowing you to feel as if you can throw a certain shot, a punch, it's because I'm prepared to counter that punch.
Yeah.
So I may also make you feel as if you can't throw a certain punch. So I may take it away from you. So whatever your greatest tools are. So I think mentally it's the person that establishes things. Like, I can hit you with a jab, you can't hit me with a jab. So now the only thing you can do is throw a right hand, but I'm looking for that right hand to hurt you with something. So a fighter that's able to just play chess like that at a high level is mentally going to control the fight.
So you guys go into the fight looking to control it mentally first and then physically take over.
Yeah. I go in there mentally to make him feel like, dang, he's too fast. He's too good. Dang, this is what I watched on film. Oh, man, it's about to happen to me. Like stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
The pros is different from the amateurs too, because every punch counts a lot more. So when I land a punch, I like to land the punch that they don't think I'm gonna throw. So you show them the jab to the head, simple stuff. Show them jab to the head, but the jabs really come to the body.
Yeah.
That little one thing right there will mess somebody up while they're all trying to hit you and they haven't even touched you yet. Just simple stuff like that. So they don't know if it's coming up, it's coming down, and that's a way to control the rhythm of the match and throw your opponent off, so they don't know what you got coming.
Yeah, finesse.
Yeah.
Got you. I'm gonna go to D-Nell. Shout out to D-Nell Jackson. What is that moment that you would say had the biggest impact on your career? Whether it be a win, well, we don't do losses on this side. Sparring match, personal lesson, etc.
I think it's actually a loss, man. I think the loss. It's funny because things are going your way. I feel like I never lost in the professionals, but losing in the amateurs was great for me because I feel like I was watching my brother, watching Zab. My brother was number 3 in the world, winning everything, right? And Zab was him and my brother child prodigies, but things took me longer, and I would just constantly compare myself and go, "Oh my God, they did this at 16. I'm doing this at 21." Like, but I feel like when I lost, it was like my first time ever really losing, thinking I really lost a fight, even though it was by a little bit. I had to accept it. I had to go ahead and become better. And then I avenged it, and I just became a different type of fighter with everything that I did. And I realized I never liked that feeling. And my first time I was crying, and my dad was like, yo, he looked at me. He hated when I cried as a kid. Like, he was that type of dad. Like, I'll give you something to cry for. But I lost. I threw a tantrum, was crying. He was like, looked at me, he said, you know, man, when Floyd lost his first fight, that's what he did too. He cried. And I knew that. I was like, yeah, I'm on a path of greatness. I hate this feeling of losing.
Let me ask you this, Justin. How difficult was it for you to sit out dealing with the injuries during
Mm.
that time?
It was very difficult because boxing moves so fast, man. Like, you're seeing your peers uh do great things. You've seen some people you were just in the gym with become world champions. You're seeing people, get rich. You're seeing some people fall off. Um, and you start, every day you're just like, it's like, go to therapy. And for me, I was just flying across the United States looking for doctors that can help me. So I had a surgery, didn't go. Had a surgery. I did some other things, it didn't work. And I finally found a place, but it took me going to physical therapy pretty much every day. And it just drains you, mentally, financially. And sometimes it's weird because you're like, people are like, what do you do? You're like, I'm a boxer. But it's like, I haven't fought in, like a years. So it just messes with your mind. But then I realized, I said, for me, my superpower has to be, indomitable will. Like, no matter what, I'm going to make it out of this to get to the other side, like to the story, to being champion again, to doing great things. So it was very difficult. It was literally one of the hardest periods of my life, for sure.
Should we take? Let me see who got me up here. Oh, let me go to Hoops Nation. It's actually a good one. Shout out to Hoops Nation. What do you all want to be remembered for when you hang up the gloves?
I was just asking myself that the other day. I was like, do you want to be the best boxer ever, or do you want to be the richest boxer ever? And I'm still deciding. I'm not. I don't know, but those are some good choices. So one of the two.
I want to be reliable, and people go like, wow, I could just bet on this kid, and he just goes in there and just represents, professional, gives it his all. And at the end of the day, like, people just have barbershop talk. And they're just like, I bet he could be, Justin Biggs could have beat him. Like, what? He could have beat who? He could have beat Sugar Leonard. He could have beat this one. He could have beat that one. Like, that's how I like to be remembered.
So,
One of the people that matter.
well, let me say this then, because all right, when y'all are both undisputed, what divisions are y'all going to be at? Y'all both undisputed champions at the same time. What divisions are y'all going to be undisputed champions at?
Well, right now I'm at 140. I think I should be able to make this for next few years. So yeah, I'd like to be the next undisputed champion at super lightweight.
Yeah, me with 154. It's looking like I'm already high in the rankings.
And those are some hot weight classes, man.
Yeah.
Those some hot weight classes.
Errol Spence,
The best of the
Terence
best of there.
all them guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You brought up Errol Spence. Let me ask you this: is there anything that changes in the rematch with him and Terence Crawford? Is there anything he can do? Is there anything that goes down differently, or is it a foregone conclusion that it's going to be the same outcome as last time?
Inevitably, I mean, it just depends. Like, I mean, is turn is Errol was Errol shot? I mean, he looked fine before his previous fights, but I believe it's that he does need to go on a higher weight. But inevitably, I believe that Terence Crawford just has his number. He could do better. Don't get me wrong. He can come in there and win more rounds, but I think eventually he'll just get stopped. Like, knocked out. It's just the way he's been fighting for so long, and it's just tailor made for Terence Crawford, because I believe Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world and an all time great. Like, I just he can go in there, and to me, if he stopped Canelo Alvarez, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it depends on if he keeps his team the same and how quickly the rematch happens. But if everything stays the same, which is kind of looking like it will, yeah, there'll be a difference, and that difference will be that he will get beat a lot quicker and worse.
But
That's
but I
yeah.
respect it though. If he fights him again, I respect it.
You got
Yeah,
you got to. He's a
he got it.
dog, man. I don't even
Yeah.
think he's shot. I really don't think he's shot. I don't think he was shot before that fight. I don't think he'll be shot now. Like he's just one of them type of really. He's a great, durable, guy,
Yeah.
a top guy that it's going to take more than just Terrence Crawford to really to take the fight out of him to really
What,
break him.
when you guys watched that fight, were you surprised by how dominant he was? Because I remember texting Trip, and I don't remember ever seeing a time where two high-level fighters fought and one of them was so outclassed. Because I mean, it just seemed like he didn't understand how to gauge distance. He couldn't close distance. It was a lot of wild swings. He was just so off balance. Do you guys ever remember seeing a high-level fighter that embarrassed in a marquee match like that before?
I remember Pacquiao Cotto, but there was reasons the weight class.
Yeah.
I remember when Bernard Hopkins beat Pavlik and Tarver. That was pretty good. But then it was always some situation around it. But I've never seen anything like that in my life. And as far as
Not of that magnitude.
and it's like that's like if I saw Floyd Mayweather knock Pacquiao out, beat him up and knock him out and destroy him from beginning to end. But I had so many arguments and conversations that this would happen with people, and I always had Terrence Crawford. I mean, I'm talking like 5 years ago. I said, "Yo, he gonna stop Spence." People go, "What? You don't know nothing about body? Are you crazy?" Like interviews like this, just people going. I'm like, "Yo, he's gonna stop him." I saw it. I saw it happening. And my thing was the biggest difference. Why that happened to me is that people don't understand. Terrence Crawford has a wrestling background. Errol Spence played football, which Errol Spence's physicality allowed him to put people on the ropes and beat on them. In the middle of the ring, Errol Spence does not have necessarily fast twitch muscles and can fight you mid range. He could box a bit, but that's not his strong suit. But I knew that Terrence Crawford would catch him something in mid range. He's the faster, sharper punches. When I watched both of them fight, I said to myself, Errol Spence knocks everybody out on the ropes. Will he be able to get Terrence Crawford on the ropes? No, he will not, because I saw when he fought Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn gave Pacquiao trouble, put him on the ropes. He will not be able to do that. And Terrence Crawford knocks people out anywhere with any shot. So that's why I said he will lose.
It's a great assessment. Yeah. When he got him in the middle of the ring, he had no answers for Crawford.
None. He's just
I think it's all that and the little extra is why I said that coaching. No disrespect to his people, his team, but there really wasn't no game plan with levels that was apparent to me that night that they had for Terrence Crawford. Like, a fight of that magnitude or any fight, you really should treat any fight like it's a fight of that magnitude. And your coaches or whoever should really put in the due diligence to break it down what you're going to do when he does this. What do you do well? What do you not do so well? What is he probably going to do? And I just didn't see any evidence of that. I just saw Errol Spence, which was enough to become unified welterweight champion, which, that's – but I didn't see the next level to where Terrence looked the best he ever looked. And he already was extremely dominant. So I didn't see that next level of, rising to the occasion and really proving that he was the best welterweight in the world.
It's been a tough few months for Derrick James because obviously he was the trainer last night for Charlo in that loss.
Yeah, you know what? I don't blame him for that. I don't blame DJ for that because he was telling Charlo the right stuff.
Yeah.
From what I heard, I'm like, yeah, Charlo, like he's saying throw more punches. Yeah, he's saying to get up in there and act like you could beat this guy. Like sometimes, it seemed like Derrick might have believed it more than he could.
He never. I don't think Charlo ever believed Derrick James. It's tough because this AJ and looks like this AJ and Wilder fight is gonna be made, and that's gonna be real bad.
Hopefully, because I don't know. Anthony Joshua don't seem like he want to fight Fury or Deontay Wilder. So I hope it gets made, because that was a fight that we really wanted to see. But I don't know about Anthony Joshua, man. He like
You
he
know,
be fucking.
you know exactly what he's gonna do.
I think he's gonna lose. I don't see him beating Deontay Wilder.
I hope that he doesn't. I hope that I'm gonna pray that he makes it out of there okay, because he has no wins in that fight. That guy's a devastating puncher. Deontay don't do everything right. It's like, Deontay reminds me of. You remember Drumline?
Mm-hmm.
When Nick could just like play but couldn't read music.
Yeah.
Deontay, like he know how to knock people out, but he don't really know how to do everything else.
Yeah.
Like
he don't set up everything the right way, but when it land.
He's a genius in his own way. He says, I don't gotta throw a jab.
And he started off late too.
He did.
Boxing. Oh, but that shout out to Deontay Wilder. Let me pull up. I gotta pull up. Pooh is back. She back with another messy question. Let me go to this, because the ladies want to see what's going on. Do y'all have female groupies, and any wild stuff a female has done to get your attention? She's guessing all sports has groupies.
Okay. I don't. We don't call them that. They're supporters, man. Everybody supports us. All supporters. As far as anything wild,
great answer.
Nah, no one's done anything wild. Not that I can remember. No, I don't think nothing too crazy.
It's weird though, because like I think when I'm fighting, if you catch me like probably outside of the gym, when I'm boxing, I'm just really in boxing mode. So if someone is, let's say, if like someone's a fan, like hey, I saw you fighting, they're a supporter, and they're like, they might be flirting, but I wouldn't notice, because I was just trying to, be professional.
We go away a lot, and I was out in one of these countries. I'm not gonna say, but once somebody tried to hook me up with their daughter, and that was pretty awkward. That was pretty awkward. But
that's wild.
Just supporters, man. Supporters,
No, y'all got Pooh. You got to ask this question when they both get to the undisputed champion point.
Yeah.
You got to come back and ask this question. At that point, we're gonna have the fellas back, and we're gonna ask that question again and see how things change.
Yeah, it might be some different answers then.
All right, let me start getting through some of these questions. You guys are still somewhat young. I'm sure y'all into hip hop. Who y'all listening to heavy right now? And they want to know your top 5 rappers of all time.
That's a good one.
Top 5, man. My favorite rapper of all time is Drake. People are gonna be upset about that.
Yeah.
But that's he's the best song rapper. He's the best song making rapper I ever heard.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
Lupe Fiasco is my favorite lyricist of all time. Lupe is like undefeated. I mess with J. Cole heavy. J. Cole is dope. Big Sean's one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, Big Sean, amazing. I think I always like I say no order, but like Eminem. I love 50 Cent wave. Drake definitely.
Lil Wayne too.
Lloyd Banks, Lil Wayne. I like A Boogie right now. I like what he's doing. And this guy got locked up, but I really did enjoy Tory Lanez music.
Tory, man,
he got to do the time though. He got to do the time.
I feel like Tory was the next up, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he ain't gonna be back for a little while unless he do an album from behind the walls.
Yeah, I hate that because you get invested, it's like starts to be like if you ever said the older people, like when they have to say we like R&B, and then like R. Kelly. It's like you just can't say Tory anymore.
you gotta scratch him off the list now.
It's so controversial, but he's as an artist, he was good before whatever he did, that stuff,
Yeah, quarantine TV was pretty lit.
Quarantine radio is lit. What?
Yeah, yeah, I will say he was keeping the people entertained during COVID. All right, let me go to Linnea's question. Y'all know what's crazy? I'm sure this may make y'all laugh, but I love watching boxing weigh-ins. Fun question for you both. What thing does your brother do that annoys you?
Oh, okay. Justin don't really pay attention to detail, so he'll do some. He'll do something like, be looking for something, and then leave the door open or not put it back. It's real irritating stuff. And you go back to yourself like, yo, why you didn't? If you don't go my bag, at least close the bag back. Don't leave the stuff sprawled out, but take everything out, take what he needs, and just turn around and leave. That's what he does. That's annoying.
I think with him, he's like antisocial. He's social but antisocial. He has to build up to be around people. So every now and then he'll just get real weird with me out of nowhere and just be hiding in the room for 3 days.
I don't do that, y'all. No,
just weird stuff like that. This is a weird guy.
All right, let me go to Ron. Shout out to Ron, man. Ron, man, what's going on? Who is the person that you met? Could be any sport that when you met them, you was in awe of them.
With the person you met, it could be in any sport that when you met them. I mean, man.
I met Roy Jones. I was in silent awe.
Yeah.
I didn't let him know, anybody around know, but I was like, dang, that's Roy.
Yeah, Roy Jones.
I got the picture and everything. I was like, dang, man, this dude.
Van there.
It don't get colder than just pure talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy,
I think Roy could have been anything. Vander's, he's huge. Vander's huge and still at this age, he's crazy ripped up.
He's in great shape, man. Yeah.
Yoel super athletic too.
Yoel, yeah.
Right, yeah. Who else have you met that was in all of them?
I only really to be honest with you, man. I only really look up to fighters like that, to be in all of them. There's no one I could really meet outside of the boxing world. I would be I'd be happy to meet a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but to be in all, it'd only be a boxer. And that was my Roy moment, probably.
Yeah, any sport that you met them. Oh, if we met them, we'd be in awe. I think Michael Jordan probably, and Michael Jordan. I'd be like, damn, that's Michael Jordan. I met Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I met Floyd Mayweather. That was pretty amazing. Floyd is pretty. It was pretty magical and stuff. I was on 24/7.
It feels weird when you meet certain people though, because it's you of course you expect them to be human, but their exact height and proportion of the way they do things damn, it's so weird, man. I'm looking at this person as if they're alien, but they're right here, just right now, just standing here. Just
and they glow.
Regular human.
They glow a little bit too, rich people and famous rich people. They have
they have that aura.
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't know what they use. It's a weird thing. It's oh man,
a different lotion they use.
Yeah, it's something. Floyd had a different kind of glow to him. I was like, oh.
Let me ask you a question. So when you met Floyd, would you kind of sizing him up like how you would attack him in the ring?
Yo, you know what happened? I thought I would. Right? Let me see what size this guy is. But then when I came through, he trained and stuff, but he had this bag, right? He had this bag of money. And before he trained, he just went in the bag and yo, thank you for letting me use the gym. Yo, well, thank you. He went in the bag, took a stack of money out, and all I could think about was asking him for some money. I was 19. I was like, yo, I'm gonna play to buy me a piece.
I ain't even mad at you. He got it.
Yeah, right.
Shit is nothing to him, right?
Right.
That's white tea money. That's all that is. That's white tea money. You mentioned Roy Jones Jr. I have a theory about Roy Jones. I feel like if Roy Jones would have retired right after he beat Ruiz for the heavyweight belt, I think that he would be recognized as the GOAT. What do you think?
That would have been a wise choice, man. You just go up, blow up to go knock, beat easily outbox Ruiz. You gotta know when to call it quits. That theory might not be as much of a theory as it just is true. You know?
Yeah, I think you're right, man. But then I kind of think with people like they love to see rise, but they love to see the fall. You know, like it's just a weird thing. I think that the greatest, right, that we see now, Muhammad Ali. We seen Muhammad Ali get, they put some guys put the work on Muhammad Ali. Sugar Robinson. He had a lot of losses, but
Leonard too.
Leonard, I think people like Andre Ward. Like I don't know if like Ward will really be, but he was a great fighter. Floyd Mayweather, I think he just did too.
Retired too early too, Andre Ward. I think he could have still kept furthering his career.
Yeah, I think he could have did a little more, but he's safe for sorry. And Floyd is just like, I think Floyd is really the money, like the folklore about him, the money, the things he did, how easy he made it look, is why we all like. But I don't know if I ever take the spot of like Muhammad Ali. I think he does though.
Do you think Floyd's business acumen, do you think that ruined the game, the sport of boxing? Because everybody now is so obsessed with being undefeated and being a businessman.
Yeah. I think it did ruin the game. I think he's
ruined it, yeah, for sure.
His excellence though too, like the way Floyd went about things, the way he beat the generation before him. He beat his generation, then he beat the generation after him. So that's just very, very hard to replicate how perfect he was every time he went into the ring. He never freaking had a bad day. So like we may never ever get that again. And I look at the landscape and just like another him. The closest thing we have, I think, the guy that for me I would put him over Floyd Mayweather is Terrence Crawford. I have him like over
him?
Yeah, I have him over Floyd. Yeah. I think he's
a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know about that just yet, but
no, he progressively got better. Like the thing about like Floyd got slicker, smoother, smarter, right?
He didn't get more dangerous.
But Terrence got better. Like to knock out Errol Spence Jr. is just like you knocked out Sean Porter, you knocked out Errol Spence Jr.
Yeah.
It's just, and you were dominant at 130 to 147. You were knockout artist. If he gets this win against, if he beats Canelo Alvarez, I think I have the greatest ever.
That's a big ask.
Yeah, if he goes up that high and beats and dominates Canelo, it becomes a legitimate conversation.
Yeah. I have him as like I have him as like the best fighter that ever walked the planet Earth. If he does that.
And let me go to Imani Williams for both of you guys. Where do you want to be in life in 5 years?
5 years. I want to be fighting mega fights consistently. Like whenever I fight, it's a mega fight. It's pay-per-view. It's broadcast across the world. Break the barriers of just United States and just UK and just Mexico. Just make it like worldwide events. There's been a few boxers to do it before, so. That's definitely what I want to strive to do.
Yeah. I think Hall of Famer, I wouldn't have to, reality, I've just like beat my own records. Pretty much at that point, I have nothing to prove. And just fighting the fights that interest me, the things that get the people going. Like, oh, you guys want to see me fight him? Let me jump up, 2 weight classes to go and fight this guy. Let me do this. Stuff like that. Like just real fun fights that I'm making that are not.
Which one of y'all gonna fight Jake Paul? Which one of y'all?
Oh man.
Let's just do a tag team boxing match.
From your mouth to
we could do that. The Paul brothers versus the Biggs brothers.
Yeah.
All right, we set it up. Hey, we gonna set it up for right here on Real Fans Real Talk Live.
Yeah.
Biggs brothers versus the Paul brothers. I want to see it. I'm putting my money on y'all.
I'm only doing it if y'all can commentate. I don't care how much.
We got a deal.
Jake, don't come at me with Jake. If they can't commentate, I'm not doing it. I don't care if you give me $100 million.
Let's get the paperwork together.
Hey, hold
Let's
on,
get
hold
the
on,
paperwork
wait.
together.
If he give you $100 million, not you, and he don't want us to commentate, you better take that $100 million. I'm just
Nah, I'm gonna be right here with y'all. It's cool. I know y'all gotta give me a job with y'all on the show.
Listen,
Do
yeah,
y'all like-
we
do y'all like-
once you retire, you can come and co-host with us.
How do you guys feel about what he's doing for the sport of boxing, though?
Well, I don't feel like he's doing it for boxing. I think that it's a lot of cash grabs for him. It's a lot of good cash grabs. He's taking advantage of an audience that doesn't know what they're paying for, and he's gonna keep doing it because they're never gonna pay attention. Like, it does bring more attention to the sport, but honestly, I don't think it's actually helping turn those fans into true boxing fans because they're not really watching true boxing, and that may be hard for people to understand, but. I finally broke down and I watched Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, and I was not impressed at all. I just didn't really like anything that I really saw because it's either Nate doesn't know what he's doing or he just wasn't trying to hit Jake hard.
Yeah.
Jake, from the clips I've seen, not really improving.
With you guys?
Huh?
Say it again.
Does he get past the fourth round with either one of you guys?
What's Jake like 180 something?
He's big,
Jake's
so
he's a big guy.
It may take a few like 5, 6, 7. It may take a little.
It's not gonna go to whatever the distance is. It's not gonna go.
I want to see it going to the end, but I mean, I think Jake is doing something good for himself. I like what it's causing with boxing. There's more eyes. He's doing good numbers, but I feel as if he was, he had some trouble. I think with substances. He got disciplined. He got himself in shape. He's doing the boxing, but the problem, I loved when he fought Tyson Fury. I mean, I'm sorry, Tommy Fury.
Tommy, yeah.
I felt like I was very proud of him. I felt he kind of regressed as of lately, and it's like he's over the MMA thing. So now I just want to see him fight guys above 500 records. It don't have to be a world champion guy. It don't gotta be. It could be a guy. Look, 6-4. A guy 10 wins, 7 losses, because he's at that stage of his life.
Training as an actual boxer, not like I'm moonlighting here and there, or I'm old and retiring from one sport and I'm on a transition, or I'm somebody who has no business being in the ring. Period.
Yeah,
Boxer.
Actually, an actual fighter. I want to just see him get it in with them. He's gonna fight Hasim Rahman Jr. That would have been a good fight. That's all. That's just what I wanted to see. He has all my respect. If he's fighting guys like that, you are a true fighter.
Yeah,
I respect. And I respect it.
Shout out to Conjure Nathan because he actually fought Rahman Jr. I want to say a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and got the dub. So big shout out to him, former Golden Gloves champ right there as well. Let me go to Janetta Johnson's question. We got a lot of questions still. I'm gonna try to run these. What's a day in the life with you two in terms of training? How many times a day do you train? Can y'all eat what y'all want?
No, if you think about boxing, nope, you can't eat what you want. Unfortunately, definitely can't. You gotta. It's a lifestyle for sure. So, waking up at 4, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Getting into the strength training session for about an hour and a half. After you finish that, get something to eat. Either hit a run or take a nap. Then wake up, back up again, and that should be around time for the gym. Go to the boxing gym, do whatever it is you're supposed to do that day. Come home, and if you hadn't run, you run then. If you hadn't hit the gym, or you had a little more in you, go ahead and hit the gym for some weights and for maybe some cardio or biking, or maybe the pool. And just along time, you eat when you're supposed to. But it's a very, very disciplined, very, very disciplined career choice. It's not for if you think it's just something that you just do sometimes, like we were just talking about. You just hop up in it and you go to the gym and then you change. The rest of your life is the same. No,
It's a life. It's a lifestyle. Yeah, it's all year round. It's a lifestyle. It's tough.
I wish I could make it sound like a Rocky clip with the montage. That's what it's supposed to sound like, but no.
Let me do this. We got Hoop Baller Scoop. He wants y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got a great question for the both of y'all. Act like your brother isn't next to you. Tell me what your brother means to you. Mushy question.
I was at the gym the other day, and Justin wasn't there. I was getting some sparring, and the trainer at the gym knows both of us. He's like, "Yo, Justin, you're sparring next." And I'm like, "All right." And the trainer I had with me, her name is Chanel. Shout out to Chanel at Blackout Boxing.
Blackout Boxing. She's a great trainer.
She's like, "Man, doesn't that piss you off when somebody calls you your brother's name?" And I was like, "Nah, honestly, I'm honored. Like, if I remind them of him, this guy right here, then I'm doing something right." So I mean, that's a little story. For you. I can't get too much, y'all. I can't give you everything you want, Hope. But
I think having a brother that boxes and a sister that boxes, man, I've never been like in a gang, but it just feels like gang banging positively. You know what I mean? Like we beating people up, running around, having fun, just like, just being real. Like just like, man, like and I see his reputation grow. It's just incredible. I know it's a funny thing I said, but I see his reputation grow because in boxing it's all about, who you beat, like you gotta put in work. You gotta like, I may not be there in the gym that day. And you saw what your brother did? Yo, so-and-so came to the gym. He knocked him out, beat him up. It's like, oh, word? Like, it's just a lot of pride knowing that.
So I'm laughing because I gotta throw Pooh because Pooh is in her bag today. Let me throw Pooh's comment up here for y'all.
We be looking at these questions as y'all talking, like, oh man.
Now I don't know which him you referring to on this one, Pooh. You're gonna have to put in the comments which, unless you're referring to both of them. But Pooh said, "Damn, so I can't cook for him. No big Sunday soul food dinner."
Nah, but we
no, holidays. We gotta eat.
Yeah.
We gotta eat on holidays.
So Thanksgiving is lit.
Fight coming up. Yeah,
let's do Thanksgiving. Let's do Thanksgiving, Pooh.
Easter.
We're gonna put it together.
Christmas dinner.
Yeah, we're gonna put it together.
There you go, Pooh. You gotta schedule it around Thanksgiving, and you in there.
There you go.
Now, y'all got something coming up in November. The next time you guys will be in the ring, talk to me about that. And where can everybody watch the fights?
Everybody can watch the fight. The link will be in my bio. It'll be on Fight TV, and it'll be also available on cable, select cable channels as well. It's going to be a good fight. I got a veteran opponent, tough guys in there with a lot of names, and it's going to be fireworks. It will not go the distance. I'm 99.9% sure of that. Now you guys can tune in for free, which is the dope part about it.
7-0 now, but I'm planning to be 8-0 come November 7th.
How many knockouts you got?
I got 7 knockouts. I'm planning to get my 8th knockout November 7th. Definitely come watch us. It should be around 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
On Fight TV, countrybox247.com. Either one of those websites you use that to watch us. I'm fighting a guy he's a veteran as well. It's about 40 fights it's gonna be my 8th fight. He fought a lot of very good 140 pounders, so it's gonna be a great step up fight for me. Y'all guys come see my progression on our way to the top, man.
Yeah.
Follow me at Kristen CHRISTEN D_Angelo. So _ANGELO.
And mine's is way simpler. Follow me at Big Time Bigs. Big Time Bigs, and the link will be in the bio. And watch the fight. Like, I hope you guys enjoy it.
Pooh gonna be following y'all before the show is over. So shout out to Pooh.
Shout out to Pooh.
We tapped in. Everybody follow and you know, let's
Thank everybody for
I
watching.
appreciate y'all. Everybody, especially asked all these great questions, man. Like, I want you guys to know when we have, you know, press conferences and things like that. And, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I had an impromptu press conference, me and Chris, and you guys weren't there, and that hurt me, man. I was like, where's my guys at? And I thought about it after the fact. I
Yeah,
need
because
you
we were
guys there next
on
time.
the air at the same time, or I would have definitely pulled up. But that's why I was like, you know what? Let me get the both the brothers up at the same time. Get a little promo in for November and what's coming up next with you guys. Last time from Lene, she just wanted y'all to know, awesome show, fellas. Again, y'all can read that one. I don't, she complimenting y'all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you so much. It's a WBC hat, so it's like, shows our hard work.
If these questions keep
Yeah,
coming through, they're
we'll
gonna
be looking out for you. Thank you so much for the support.
Oh, wow.
These questions keep coming through. They're gonna think we playing matchmaker over here.
Word.
Find love on this show, right?
Right.
Shout out to everybody. Really quick before we get out of here, there's two questions I do want to get to really quick because I don't want to leave anybody out. Juju, this is for y'all. I know she probably saw the Big Gene episode a couple of weeks ago. Keefe D was arrested for Tupac's murder. I mean, my only thoughts on it is you could have did this 20 years ago. It's not like they're not saying that Keefe D pulled the trigger. They're just charging him because he was there. So this is something that you could have did 20 years ago. Miss Shakur is not here to see this type of justice. So you know what I mean. That's my only thing with it. But his Pac sister did comment on it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we spoke to Gene about this. We spoke to him specifically about Keefe and his relationship with Puff and all that as well. But correct me if I'm wrong, Trip. I believe Keefe was granted immunity when he gave some testimony or gave when he sat with the police on this years ago. So unless there's like some new evidence, I'm not sure what this arrest would be about because he admitted that they was there that night and that they was in the car with his nephew when the murder happened.
Yeah, so it's just basically what they said was this is what they're doing now. They're gonna charge you with the same crime, even though he wasn't actually one that pulled the trigger. So I guess the best example would be if a couple of guys is going to break into a house and the getaway driver is outside and the guys go into the house and somebody is killed during the home invasion, the driver is also going to get charged with murder. So this is how they're trying to tie Keefe D into this. We are obviously he gave information decades ago in regards to Orlando Anderson being the shooter. So listen, it's his time done ran out. He been out here for a very long time, and I guess his time ran out, and it is what it is. Lene wanted y'all to know she's not flirting. She just wants to know to try to great smile.
No, it's okay.
And
it
last
was an amazing compliment. Thank you, Lene.
Last question. Let me go to Imani really quick. Get her out the way. After the fellas, we talk about the Liberty Aces. Get your picks at the end. You got the Aces. You know I'm from New York, so it's gonna be all about the Liberty. Congratulations to Breonna Stewart on being named the MVP. It's going to be a great WNBA finals. I'm gonna be watching every one of those games. But I'm going with the New York Liberty. I gotta go with the home team.
Got to.
I was supposed to go to one of their games too, man.
I went to one this year too. It was packed out. It was Liberty. I don't remember who they played though, but no, Liberty is a great team.
Yeah, I know I got some tickets, guys. You could bless us up. We'll go over there.
I know, even though listen, the final ticket's still gonna be a little costly. I'm gonna be watching from my house. It ain't in the budget. Give us the budget for that.
We throw a party. We could throw a party and invite them too. Go party for real. That'd be cool.
Nah, we're gonna get with the brothers. When we go to the garden, we're gonna have to bring y'all with us to the garden, man, because sometimes you get a little hectic here.
Now we talking.
I don't know about Asia Wilson getting robbed. I think it was a close. If you look at the numbers Their numbers are very similar. Both teams, they're the number 1 and number 2 teams. But I said something a couple of weeks ago, whereas a lot of times it's how you go into the playoffs, and I think that's probably what it was. The Liberty were the hottest team the second half of the season going into the playoffs. The Aces came out the gate strong, but they kind of struggled. And then when you compare the head-to-head matchups, I believe after that first time the Aces beat the Liberty came back and it was kicking their butts the last couple of times. So I think that's the reason why they went with Breanna Stewart as the MVP. So shout out to her for bringing that back to New York. I don't know. Oh, just for you, Eric.
Oh yeah,
You
he's
said
talking.
your boy was killing WNBA on Friday.
He talking. Shout out to Javon. He was locked in with us on a Friday night live. For those that don't already, man, you got to tune in Friday night live, the Sanchez Show. I give you guys all my picks on the NFL week. And yeah, we had some WNBA questions. My man Will Gordon was kind of going in on the WNBA.
It makes sense. That's just Will, man. That's what Will does.
Yeah.
Fellas, once again, give us a final thought, man.
On WNBA or just like
in general?
No,
Oh,
just
yeah. We closing it out.
Okay.
But we're almost on 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say thank everybody for watching, of course, man. Thanks for having us on here.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody out there is listening and deciding, making the decision, trying to figure out if they should go for that thing that they've been wanting to do for their whole lives, I say do it. Do it, because I'm the type of person I hate to live with regrets. I know a lot of other people like that too. So stop thinking about it. Stop researching it. Just go ahead and try it, man. Go ahead and try it. Fortune favors the bold. And God loves people that try to do something with their talent. So he's definitely gonna bless you, even if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to. It's a lesson at the very least.
So you saying just do it.
Hey, just I may or may not be looking for a sponsorship, but just do it. Just do it. That's what you do.
No, I definitely want to say, man, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for having us all on here, having the support I have with you guys, watching you guys just continue to elevate and do crazy, incredible things, and just being so driven, man. Seeing you guys do this inspires me. How much time you guys put into the show, and I just appreciate being here. And everyone that's tuning in, you guys could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're definitely rocking with us, and that's much appreciated.
Facts. Eric, you got a final thought for us?
My fault. I had myself on mute. I apologize. I wanted to thank Justin and Chris for taking the time to rock with us tonight, man. The boxing insight was amazing. We looking forward to you guys' future, because it is definitely a bright one. Thank you again to all the supporters, all the comments, man. It's amazing that we tune in here. Before we even lock in at 7 o'clock, there's already comments there. So we greatly appreciate that as well. If they're not already, Trip, gotta let them know. Gotta subscribe to Real Fans Real Talk. Subscribe to the Sanchez Show. And we got another great episode coming up next week, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the comment section again.
Word.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime we down to come on. You guys are family.
Facts. I just want to say before we get up out of here again, big shout out to the both of you guys. Always appreciate you guys pulling up. Yeah, man. Eric, brightest of the brightest futures coming up. And we like to call out championships when we on Real Fans Real Talk. So I'm just gonna call out 2 belts at the same time, and maybe even a third belt. We gotta get Sis back in the game, so we might have 3 champions. And to the new first family of boxing. Big shout out to you guys. Looking forward to seeing the next fight in November. Y'all make sure y'all stay locked in and y'all watch that fight, because the careers are going to continue to go up. Make sure you following us on all our social media: Instagram, Twitter at Real Fan Talk, Facebook.com/Real Fans Real Talk, and subscribe to that YouTube channel, YouTube.com/For the Fans Productions. The website is the same, RealFansRealTalk.com. And don't worry, if you're not in New York City on Thursday nights and you can't watch live at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m., you can still watch us from anywhere in the world. Just go to the website, RealFansRealTalk.com. Click that red button on the home page, and you can watch from anywhere in the world. And of course, make sure y'all subscribe, man, to that Sanchez show and the Real Fans Real Talk podcast. We are streaming on all major platforms. With that being said, for myself, Trip Young, my brother, Legend in 2 Games, Eric Sanchez, and the Biggs brothers, aka the Bash brothers, the first family of boxing. We up out of here. Peace.